I don't know about you, but for me, today being the last Sunday after the Epiphany, which is a reminder that Wednesday is Ash Wednesday, I'm still trying to clean up the Christmas stuff out of my office. And all of a sudden, I'm talking about Ash Wednesday. I don't know where the year is going, but January is gone, and February is about to be done with a week, if you will. Time is moving on. Time is moving on. Time is of the essence, if you will. So, for us at St. Stephen's, in the context of the Episcopal Church, we are known as the Alleluia Church, one of the Alleluia churches. We say more Alleluia in this church than some other churches say all year long. So, this is going to be it for you. From now until Tuesday, say all the Alleluia you want to say. Beginning Wednesday, now you have to fast for 6 weeks. You can't say Alleluia because the Lenten season. So on Tuesday, we'll be burning the palms. And by the way, if you can find the palms that you were given on Palm Sunday last year, bring it so it can be part of the burning of the palms. And then we'll have the ashes and stuff so that we can be ready for Ash Wednesday. But I said those few words just to point out that we are about to transition and get into the season where we are encouraged to reflect on our journey with Christ. And that more will be said about that. But for this morning, as I listened to the reading from Exodus again by Will, it occurred to me that Moses went in to speak with God, and when Moses came from speaking with God, he was transformed. Moses did not know he was transformed, but the people around him knew that something was different. His face shone. And so Moses had to cover his face when he spoke to the people. But when he went to speak to God, he didn't need that. When you and I go to speak with God, what happens? What happens to you when you speak with God? Where do you go to speak with God so a transformation takes place? Moses went in to speak with God. He went up and spoke with God. And when he came down, the people knew something was different. Now, Exodus doesn't tell us how long this took place, how many times Moses went in, spoke with God, and came back, and his face changed. But what we do know is when Moses went in and spoke with God, he was transformed. His face shone. Why isn't that happening today? Why am I standing before you and you can look in my face and I can look in your face and nothing has changed? Why aren't we being transformed like Moses? I will not suggest to you why, but what I do know is what happened to Moses is not happening to us. I suspect sometimes some people go and speak to God. When they come out, you run from them because it's not that the face has transformed, but the attitude has been so changed that you don't want to be anywhere near them. But that's a different story. Something happened to Moses when he went in and spoke with God on the mountain. Things happened. Figuratively, on the mountain, something happens. So we see in the gospel, Jesus takes Peter, James, and John. Now, where are the other 9? What are they doing? Luke doesn't tell us. But Jesus takes Peter, James, and John, and he goes up the mountain for them to pray. I'm not sure Peter, James, and John knew that they were going up the mountain to pray and something was going to happen. They figured out that's where Jesus was going to spend the night, so they were all going to have to spend the night there. But they go up the mountain with Jesus. And something happens. While they are praying, or while Jesus is praying and they're trying to go to sleep, something happens. Jesus is transformed. And all of a sudden, it is like looking directly into the sun. And wow, what an image. And while they are trying to look at Jesus, they see two other images. Well, Luke tells us they see two persons because they recognize them as Moses and Elijah. And they are talking with Jesus. I don't know about you, but if I were Peter, James, or John, I'll be wiping my eyes trying to make sure, am I seeing this thing for real? Is this happening? Jesus is transformed. He's transfigured before them. And he's having a conversation with Moses and Elijah. Something happens when you go up the mountain to pray. Figuratively, that is. Up the mountain for you may be walking on the beach. And something might happen. Whatever that place may be, when you go up the mountain to be with God, something will happen. And in this case, Jesus is transfigured, and Peter, James, and John are in amazement. But it doesn't stop there. The cloud overshadowed them. I like my brother Peter. He's already beginning to figure a way of trying to capture this moment. Keep it forever, Jesus. Don't change things. We will build 3 dwellings. One for you, one for Moses, one for Elijah, and the rest of us who can just hang out here. But never mind. Let's stay up here, Jesus. It's too good. The cloud overshadowed them, and then the voice speaks from the cloud. This is my son, the chosen. Do what? Listen to him. Peter, stop talking. Listen to him. Wilmot, stop talking. Listen to him. St. Stephen's, stop talking. Listen to him. Episcopal Church, stop talking. Listen to him. The Anglican Communion, stop talking. Listen to him. He's the chosen of God. Listen to him. It is only when we have spent time listening to the one who is chosen by God will we do God's will. More often than not, we listen to ourselves, and by God, disaster takes place. My son, the chosen, listen to him. And when the voice had spoken, the cloud was lifted, and lo and behold, it was only Jesus standing there again, just as he must have been when they went up the mountain, not transfigured again. And Luke tells us the disciples never said anything about this event. Well, but there will come a time when they will have to talk a lot about it. But from that time, they said nothing about it. When you and I go in to speak with God, something has to happen. When you and I stop talking and listen, not only the words coming out of our mouths, when you and I stop talking, I don't know about you, but sometimes our lips are sealed, and boy, I'm going 100 miles an hour in here. And how much time it takes me to try to shut this thing down in order to listen. As we transition from this season of Epiphany into the Lenten season, it is my hope and prayer that you and I will listen to that voice that spoke to Peter, James, and John, so that we can listen to what he might be saying to us. So that when we have listened, then we can take our marching order, if you will, and go forth and be the witnesses that he has called us to be. that through our proclamation, not only by words, but by deeds, others will come to embrace the one who is the chosen, so they too might be able to listen to him. Help us, Lord, on our journey to listen, so that we may only do that which you have us to do, and others may be drawn to you. May this opportunity of Lent for you and me be truly a time for reflection, truly a time to look at where we are in our walk with God, as we will then prepare for the great Easter feast. When we go in to talk with God, something has to happen. Our faith may not be as bright as the sun, but something has to happen. May we be transformed to be the disciples of Christ that he is calling us to be and has called us to be, so that we may witness of his love, his mercy, and compassion. Amen.
Amen.